In ancient India, we know that apart from the monarchies, there were also some Ganasangha or republics. Now, there were many Ganasanghas, but the foremost Ganasangha of ancient India was the Ganasangha of the Vrijjis or Vajjis. Our history books tell us that during the time of the Buddha, the Vrijji Republic played a prominent role in the politics of this period. But when it comes to the question of how this republic was founded and what was the history of this region before the establishment of the Vrijji Republic, we find that our history books does not talk much about this particular aspect. So in this video, we will try to answer this question. But first, let's understand this region about whose history we are talking about. So this is the region of Northern Bihar, and in the earliest text, by which I mean the Vedas, we find that this region is called the region of Vidhe. The name Vidhe comes from the Vidhe clan, and we are told in a text called the Shatapatha Brahmana, which is a later Vedic text, that a person who was a king whose name was Videg Mahathav, he for the first time settled with his clan and his priest in this region, and from that point onwards this region was called Videh. Now when it comes to the geographical description of the Videh region, we find that in ancient text it is mentioned that the region of Videh lay east of the Sadanira river. Sadanira river is modern Gandak, and we are told that Sadanira river separated the region of Kosala, which lay west of Sadanira, and the region of Videh, which lay east of Sadanira. Then we are told that the region of Videh was situated south of the Himalayas and north of river Ganga. So here Ganga was the southern boundary of the Videh region. Now in later times we learn that two prominent kingdoms emerged in the Videh region. The first was the kingdom which was centered around the city of Mithila. This city of Mithila has been identified with the small town of Janakpur, which is situated close to the Nepal border. The city was named after the second king of Videh, whose name was Janak. These kings who ruled the Videh kingdom from Mithila called themselves Mithila. So the two kingdoms that emerged in the Videh region, the first was called Videh. The second kingdom that emerged called itself Vaishali. Now in the Puranas, we find that the first dynasties that ruled this kingdom has not been named. But interestingly, after a particular king whose name is Vishal, we see that the kings who came after him started to call themselves Vaishalak kings. The reign of King Vishal is also important for the Vaishali kingdom because it was he who made the city of Vishala or Vaishali his capital. So in the Bihar region, we see that two prominent kingdoms emerged. The first was the kingdom of Videh, whose capital was the city of Mithila. The second was the kingdom of Vaishali, whose capital was the city of Vaishali. Now, if you are wondering how these two kingdoms are related to the foundation of the Vrijji Republic, then you have to look into the Puranas. In the Puranas, we are told that the last king who ruled the kingdom of Vaishali was a king named Sumati. Now, how this king's reign came to an end and what happened afterwards is not mentioned in the Puranas. But there are some historians who claim that the reign of King Sumati came to an end because of a popular revolt, and after this popular revolt, the foundation of the Republic of Vrijji were laid. Now, the basis on which these types of speculations are being made is probably because something similar happened in the Videh region. We learn from the Arthashastra and Buddha Charit that the last ruler of the Videh kingdom was a king named Karala Janak, and he was deposed by his subjects. So because something similar happened in the Videh region, historians argue that possibly King Sumati of the Vaishali kingdom suffered a similar fate. So it appears that there was some type of relation between the end of these two kings and the foundation of the Vrijji Republic. But as we know about ancient Indian history, things are not as simple. There is another source which tells us a different tale about the fate of the kingdom of Vidhe. I am talking about a text which is a Buddhist text called Deepvamsh. Deepvamsh tells us that there was no popular revolt that ended the reign of King Karala Janaks. After King Karala Janak, his sons ruled the kingdom of Vidhe. Deepvamsh tells us that the last king of this dynasty was a king named Buddhadat, and after him the kingdom was passed on to the masters of Rajgriha. By masters of Rajgriha, here Deepvamsh is talking about the rulers of Magad. So if we take into account this description of Deepvamsh, it appears that during the post Karala Janak period, the kingdom of Vidhe was a monarchy and it did not become part of the Vrijji Republic. So you have two different sources that tell us two different tales. So it is hard for us to draw any conclusions. But what we can say is that in this region, before the foundation of the Vrijji Republic, there were monarchies and there was some type of popular revolt that led to the emergence of the Vrijji Republic. Now, if you want to know about the functioning of these republics and whether these republics were democracy or not, do watch this video. And you can know about the sources which I have used in this video from the description. And please subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching.